Now with us is the Washington Times reporter who broke this story, Sarah Carter. Sarah, who is the guy that was on the tape? He's a legitimate threat to us?
Well, he is. He is a Al-Qaeda recruiter. He is not some quacky professor that he was made out to be in February when the video first aired on Al Jazeera and then it disappeared. No one paid much attention to it. What I was able to find out from intelligence officials and counterterrorism officials is that this is an Al-Qaeda recruiter by the name of al-Nafisi who has had very close ties to bin Laden, who had met with bin Laden numerous times prior to September 11th, and has even recently, within the last few years, they believe, has been in contact with him. He is also very close to Mullah Omar, who heads the Taliban in Afghanistan.
All right, let me take another piece of the video and you tell us about it. Here's another one from the terrorist recruiter al-Nafisi.
There is no need for airplanes, conspiracies, timings, and so on. One person with the courage to carry 4 pounds of anthrax will go to the White House lawn and will spread the confetti all over them. And then we will do these cries of joy.
This is something, I mean, is this just a nonsense recruiting, or is this something that we have evidence that he really means this and he has the ability to do these things?
Look, absolutely. They mean to do us harm. This is no nonsense. This is an insight into Al-Qaeda. What we're seeing, what we're peering into in this video is Al-Qaeda's intentions. And Al-Qaeda has thought and looked at the U.S. border with Mexico as an entry point into the United States, either for the movement of foot soldiers or for the movement of a weapon of mass destruction. This is something very serious. I mean, I think they expect us not to believe them, not to believe that they're capable of doing this. Very similar to the situation that happened before September 11th, when a lot of people dismissed the idea of planes being used as weapons in the United States. I mean, this is a very serious threat. It's not something that we should ignore.
Let me show you another piece of the videotape, America, where he says basically what Sarah is saying, that you need to be able to take them seriously. They're not a bunch of people that are living in caves. Watch this.
The Americans are afraid that the weapons of mass destruction might fall into the hands of terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and others. There is good reason for the Americans' fears. It had laboratories in North Afghanistan. It had scientists, chemists, and nuclear physicists. They are nothing like they are portrayed by these mercenary journalists. Backward Bedouins living in caves. No, no, by no means.
Something that absolutely, I was in Afghanistan for 2 months last summer, and believe me when I tell you this, a lot of the people as I traveled through Afghanistan would say to me, you know, the United States sees us as backwards. Remember, we pushed out the Soviet Union. Remember, we are a counterinsurgency and we know how to fight. And when they make these threats, when an Al-Qaeda recruiter at this high of a level makes these kind of threats and says, we will be willing to do this, and we have had chemical plants before in Afghanistan, and we have scientists and we have researchers, we have to take this seriously. Because remember, the people that were on those planes, those 19 hijackers, were not poor Bedouins, were not poor people who were recruited and misled by Al-Qaeda. The majority of them were university graduates with good jobs and even some that had relationships. So this is an insight into Al-Qaeda at the highest levels and into the types of people they're willing to recruit. And we can't be afraid to face the facts of what they're willing to do.
Okay, Sarah, I appreciate it. I'm out of time. I would like you to check and see the date stamp on this, because maybe this happened before they knew that Barack Obama was going to be president, because then it's all over.